Hello everyone and welcome back to another Rise of Kingdoms video. This is Dragothien here, and today we are going to take a break on our Commander Ranker series and jump into some of the changes that have been happening over the last few days. I want to go over just a few things. Specifically, yes, we did it, the help program. The help system is now kind of back to the way it was, but not really. We're going to go over that really quick. And then also we're going to go over the new King skill changes, because those are very important. Very important. And I've got some updated information about those items, so I wanted to share that with you guys as well. Let's go ahead and jump into that. Before we obviously do that, this is a sponsored content creation channel for Rise of Kingdoms. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, all those good things, so that you can get the content that you're looking for every single day about Rise of Kingdoms. With that being said, let's jump into it. Alright, so as you can see in front of you, we got this message yesterday, and it went into effect today, so you should start to see the benefits of the change that was made. I like this explanation by the development team. It's a lot better than what we got whenever they changed it. Before it was just, there's botting happening, we're changing it to 1,000 times per day, and that's it. This is a lot better explanation of what exactly their thought process was. You know, where it's coming from, or what part of it's 100% fact versus 80%. You know, we don't really know any of that information. All I do know is that we had a big problem with this last healing change, and this hopefully will address it. I've been assured by the people that I've asked on the inside, as far as the duration, which I'm about to get to on the cooldown, that it is very short. So basically, just a quick rundown summary of what this long message is all about. They obviously got some pretty big feedback about the 1,000 help per governor change received, and you know, again, their thought process behind it was that it's going to fix the botting problem that they've identified, and they went into greater detail on how that happens and what kind of drove this change in the first place. And then finally, again, they understood that maybe there was a little bit of a change that needed to be made to the change. And again, because of the, well, not because of, but we did get a Japanese Twitter post kind of hinting at this happening as far as an adjustment to the change. And basically what this is going to break down into is just a few things. So first off, that was the download that you did earlier today. The download we had a little earlier today, the little hot patch fix, that's what this was. So it happened very early today, UTC. And basically what it does, you still do have a limit of 1,000 helps per day as far as being received. However, there's a random short cooldown after that 1,000 helps per day. So, and again, that's where I had asked the development team, you know, what does a short time, quite short, mean? And again, they didn't give me a specific seconds, because again, it is random cooldown time, but they said very short. It's just to basically eliminate the botting situation. Now, I don't know exactly how that happens, because I'm not sure how the bots work, but basically from what I understand, it's supposed to basically be like you were before. It just has a little bit of a random cooldown as far as you being able to receive those helps right away, like what was described up above here. So this is supposed to be very short, is the way it was kind of expressed to me. So let's go with that for right now, and hopefully we'll get some feedback from our community, and I'll be able to push that along just like we were able to do with the video that we made about the problem to begin with in the first place. And then again, you're going to be receiving some more healing speed up items. So again, for me, right, like I'm a spender, right? I'm a pretty heavy spender in the game, but there are times where I have downtime, you know, after the fight's over and I've got 30 or 40,000 troops in the hospital after bulk healing weeks of troops during the actual fight, where I can use the unlimited number of helps and really be beneficial and save me those extra maybe 3 or 4 days of speed ups that I would have to use if I wanted to burn all the way through them, versus just doing the quick heal, you know, hour and a half worth of healing speed to do those in chunks and get basically free healing as far as speed ups go. So I do both, but the majority of the time I do spend healing speed ups while I'm fighting, which I think the majority of the player base does as well. It's just that somebody who spends more into the game obviously has more of those healing speed ups, and they're going to be on the front line more as well, obviously. So the benefit of this number 2 spot here will earn more healing speed up items from daily objective rewards. that's a good thing. That's a good thing for the whole community, because not only, is that going to help you when you're actually in the middle of battle. Most players, anywhere from free to play all the way up to heavy spenders, they need more healing speed ups, and that's going to be helpful. So, I mean, that's a good thing. That's a good change that we can get. And then the gift, 100 hours of healing speed ups, that is what it is. I think that was a sorry, not sorry, but sorry, but this is all I'm willing to give you kind of thing. But 100 hours of healing speed ups is nothing to sneeze at, but at the same time, it's a drop in the bucket in KVK. You're talking, you need weeks and months of healing speed ups if you're going to be on the front line. So like I said, this is probably a drop in the bucket, but still nice little boost to our healing stockpile in the pack there. But really the big thing I wanted you guys to take away from it was, yes, we did it. The feedback was on point. I sent my stuff into them to take a peek. I told everybody that came into me to send in ideas to fix it. And I don't know if this is necessarily 100% fixed, because I think at the end of the day, I don't know how big healing bots of a problem they were, but this maybe will help that. I'm not sure how the bots work, though, so I don't know exactly how that will address it. But this will at least not completely neuter any type of free-to-play fighter in the game from being able to fight for an extended period of time, or at least a decent amount of time, without having to use all of their speed ups right away at the beginning of the battle and then just be out of the fight. So I wanted to address that first. And then the second thing was I wanted to go into the major patch that we just got, which was a couple days ago, the King skill system. And there's obviously other things that are part of this patch that we have talked about already. But the King skill system, I do have some updated information as far as what they look like, how much they cost, how they can be used, things like that. So first I want to go over what they are. I'm going to go ahead and open up the graphic that I've got. So this is what the graphic looks like in the temple when you go to try and use these skills. So you got the tax skill, which is a 4,000 activation cost. And again, that's 4,000 gems. That's pretty substantial. 4,000 gems is nothing to sneeze at. It gives the king 1% of all resources gathered during the time frame, and it's for 8 hours. So during 8 hours of farming, you get an increased gathering speed bonus for the whole kingdom, which is nice. And then also the king gets 1% of all those resources as well as taxes. And there's a limit of 10 million per resource, which is not a whole lot. If you really think about it, 10 million of each resource against 4,000 gems, that's a little rough to me, in my opinion. But at the same time, you're spending 2,500 for a training speed buff that you don't necessarily get, especially if you're not training yourself as a king. You're not necessarily getting a huge value return personally, but obviously for the kingdom you are. The tax skill does give a 30% gathering speed bonus, which is nice. It's not game breaking, but it's something to give the kingdom, and also you get a little something back as a king. So not too bad, but 4,000 gems to me is a little expensive. But that being said, that is what it is. Imprison. Imprison is the other active skill. I'm going to go into the imprison cost here in just a second because it's not listed on the picture here, but I do have another picture with it. But basically, this is going to disable the governor that you target with this, their ability to teleport for 15 minutes. 15 minutes, that's basically War Frenzy, guys. In fact, that is the duration of War Frenzy. So if you can get somebody to be in War Frenzy and you want to destroy them, right, whether they're being toxic or whether they're just doing something they're not supposed to be doing, or you're a terrible king and you're just, taking out players in your kingdom that you don't like or whatever. I don't know. Whatever the situation is, right? It is what it is. If they're in War Frenzy, you can slap this imprison sticker on them, and assuming that you're good, you'll have a few rallies lined up to rally that particular individual. And if it's not in KVK, you can have as many alliances as have access to the zone that you have lined up to go ahead and rally that city. So one particular player that may be 100 million power, you can 8-time rally that player if they're in zone 3 in your regular kingdom, and you've got 8 alliances sitting there with players ready to fill the rally and reinforce. So that's pretty substantial. But again, once that 15 minutes is up, you're kind of done at that point. I don't know what the cooldowns are for these particular skills. I haven't gotten that information yet. but the durations we have, it's 8 hours for tax, 15 minutes for imprison, and then 10 minutes for leader, which is the third skill. So leader, what this does is you place it on an army on the field, and I'll show you a graphic of that too. I just got that from my buddy Dom earlier today. I'll show you the graphic that he sent me for that. But basically, when the skill is cast, leader troop will grant a 3% bonus to all damage dealt by nearby troops for 10 minutes. This is only enhances troops and rallies fighting on the world map, and will not enhance troops in a garrison. It's very important. So you can be reinforcing a rally, have that popped on you, and it affects not only all the reinforcements and field support in that area, but it also helps the rally. You should definitely make sure that you take advantage of that benefit. Now, let's go look at some of the things that are inside of this that make a little bit of a difference versus just reading this over and understanding what they do. So, real world scenario, taxes. We just got the first tax report, or at least I got my first tax report that I've seen. And let me go ahead and show that to you guys. This is the tax report. It's a tax revenue report. King skill with one L, unfortunately misspelled. Tax has expired. 1% of all resources gathered in the kingdom over the last 8 hours have been collected as taxes to be given to the king. And here we go. 10 million stone, 10 million food, 9.3 million wood, and 9.2 million gold, which is not bad. But again, 4,000 gems. I don't know if this is worth the extra gems spent. And again, time slot maybe utilized for, instead of it being a resources gathered buff, like favorable weather, or I'm sorry, resource production, like favorable weather, or a training speed buff, or scientist buff, or industrial revolution, sorry, and just the different kinds of buffs that we can have in the game. This might not necessarily be so great, but this is what it looks like. So again, this is basically maxed out. 10 million each almost for the most part. We're a little short on gold, a little short on wood, but food and stone, that's the max. So that's what it looks like from the king's perspective. That's what it would look like if you were to do that. Next one is going to be imprison cost. So this is how much it costs to cast the imprison skill, which is the one that we talked about earlier, where it locks down a player from being able to teleport away from a rally. 3,000 gems is a drop in the bucket if there's a particular player that you want to absolutely smash up and down. I would spend 10 times this if there was a player that I absolutely detested and he needed to go, she needed to go, whoever it is. I would definitely spend whatever gem count that is to make that happen. And for sure, this would be something. Now, again, these are skills, so they don't. Now that I'm thinking about it, these are skills. These are not buffs, so these should be on a different timer than the buffs. So I stated earlier if it would be versus the favorable weather buff or versus the the training speed buff, things like that. That doesn't apply. These are two different sets. So I apologize. I just realized that halfway through. So, but that being said, 3,000 gems is nothing to do what this skill does. Absolutely, I would pay 3,000 gems every single time to make this thing happen. Without a doubt, not even close to being a problem. And then finally, let's go over the leader skill. This is what it looks like, and it only costs 500 gems, so very nice to use. And yeah, I mean, it's got a pretty sizable area. This is kind of like what you may be used to in Ark of Osiris as far as the sphere on the buff. And you want to get obviously everybody inside of that before you cast it. I don't think it's a pulse where you place it on somebody, and as long as they're around within those 10 minutes, it'll activate. I don't think that's how it works. I think you got to place it. It's an AoE, a point-based AoE, and you place it, and whoever's inside that circle gets the buff, and whoever is not inside that circle before that buff is cast does not get it. I think that's the way it works. I'll confirm just to make sure, but I think this is the way that it will work. So all these pieces of information, I just wanted to show you guys the actual gameplay of these different items. The graphics are interesting. The imprison skill basically wraps red chains around the city so that it's locked in. The leadership skill has a red circle underneath all the players swirling around. And then the tax one, I'm not sure if there is a graphic for that or not, but there may be. You probably will have at least the buff at the top there where it says 30% resource gathering speed bonus, something to that effect. So I hope this video has been helpful. I wanted to take a little bit of a break from the Ranker series just because we had all these changes and I wanted you guys to see it. And I also wanted to explain the healing speed because I still see people asking what's going on with the healing system. I don't understand what they're saying. So I think we've done our job, right? I think we did our job. We've alerted them to the fact that they made a game-changing decision that was really hurting the player base, and they've made an adjustment. I've gotten assurance that the cooldown after the first 1,000 helps that you receive is very, very, very small. So I'm hoping that this will basically be back to normal business as usual with maybe a little bit of a delay after those first 1,000 helps, which is not bad. I think that's a good compromise, assuming it works the way that I hope it's supposed to. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. We're going to get back to the Ranker series for the Commander pairings, and I'm also going to do alongside of it an update to the Commander Mastery series. We're going to do 2 videos a day, guys. We're going to do a Commander Mastery series in the morning, and then we're going to be doing the Commander pairing for that Mastery series video in the afternoon. So you're going to get two series simultaneously every day. There's just too many videos to make to space them out one a day. I hope you enjoyed those videos coming up, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers. Have a good one. Take care.